Welcome to the demo video of our annual budget spreadsheet. This spreadsheet is available in Google Sheets and Microsoft Excel 365 and also in multiple colors. In this tutorial, I am using the Excel version in color pink lavender, but all the versions of this template works the same way regardless of the color or spreadsheet software. The first thing to note before we start is that some of the tabs in this spreadsheet are protected to make sure that you don't erase important formulas. But they are not password protected, so if you would like to get rid of the sheet protection, in Excel, go to Review and click on Unprotect Sheet. The second thing I would like to highlight is that this spreadsheet has a special feature called a keyword detector that can automatically fill out your actual transactions category and subcategory, saving you a ton of time. But more on that later. For now, let's see how to set up the template. Since this is an annual budget tracker, it is best if you start your budgeting in January, but this is no way a requirement. You can start your budgeting any month. Simply enter your desired starting date here in the Setup tab, and the spreadsheet will automatically adjust. Next, you can customize the currency. The default currency of the spreadsheet is in dollar, but you can enter any currency symbol here, and that will change the currency of the entire template. After that, you can set up the list of your bank accounts. The spreadsheet will track the monthly closing balance and current balance on each of your accounts, but for this feature to be available, first you'll need to enter the name of your bank accounts or credit cards. For example, I'll add Amex here. And after that, head over to the Account Tracker tab. In the Account Tracker tab, enter the starting balance on each account. So the starting balance should be the amount of money you have on these accounts the moment you started logging your actual transactions in the spreadsheet. And as for your credit cards, since this is an amount that you owe to your bank, if you have any unpaid balances on those, enter them as a negative value. The next step will be to customize your subcategories in the Setup tab. You will have the option to sort your transactions into 7 main categories: income, expense, bills, subscriptions, debt, savings, and investment. For each category, you can set up 28 subcategories. The spreadsheet already includes the most common subcategories, but you can override them and create new ones. Once you have finished updating your subcategories, you can start setting up your budgets. You will find the list of all the subcategories that you have entered above, so next to each subcategory, start typing the amount of money you expect to spend in case of expenses and expect to receive in case of income. Once you enter the amount for the first month, the rest of the months will auto-populate with the same amount. But if you prefer to set a different budget for each month, please feel free to override the formula here and enter a different value. For a more user-friendly experience, only the first 50 subcategories will be visible. If you have more than 50 subcategories, you can unhide the remaining rows by clicking on the plus sign here. Another important point to mention is that if you add a new subcategory after you have added your budget, then you'll need to adjust your budgets again. And that's because if you add a new subcategory here, for example, I'll add gym, that new subcategory will appear in the subcategory column of your budget table, but if you have already entered your budget, those amounts will not move together with it, and it might result in a mismatch between your budget and your subcategories. If that happens, don't worry, it is very easy to fix it. All you need to do is to search for the subcategory that you have added, and next to it, select all the budgeted amount all the way until the very last value. Then press Ctrl copy or Command copy if you're a MacBook user, and paste the selected range one row downwards. And after that, you can enter the budget for the newly created subcategory. The last thing we are going to set up in this tab is your bill subscription and debts due date. Under the budget table, you will find a similar table where you can set up your bill's due date. You only need to enter the day on which your bill is due. So for example, if your electricity bill is due on the 5th of every month, then enter the number 5 here. Similarly to the budgeted amount, be very careful when adding a new subcategory in the middle of the year because the values here can shift if you add a new subcategory. So if that happens, just adjust them the same way we did before. So select the affected cells and copy paste them one row downwards. Now let's see how to log your actual transactions. First, I'm going to show you the traditional way of logging transactions, and then I will show you how you can implement some automation with the help of the keyword editor. So for example, if you would like to log your paycheck, enter the date when you received your paycheck, then enter the amount. After that, select the bank account you received the money to. Then select the category, so this is an income, and the subcategory would be paycheck. And as description, you can type the company name. And then let's say that you went grocery shopping, so again, enter the date of transaction, the amount of money you've spent, the bank account name, and then again, select the category and the subcategory. And let's say that it was Costco. So this is the traditional way of logging actual transactions, and if you would like to use the spreadsheet this way, you're absolutely free to do so. However, as I said, there is an option for some automation, so I will going to delete these entries and go to the keyword editor. In the keyword editor, you can set up some keywords for your most frequent transactions, then select their categories once, and if you do that, the spreadsheet will be able to automatically fill out your actual transactions category and subcategory if a keyword is detected in the description field. So let's see how that works. I am going to set up chocolate company as a keyword and select their categories. And let's enter another one, so let's add Costco. And again, select the categories. From now on, every time you type the word chocolate company in the description field, the category and subcategory will be auto-populated. Same goes for the word Costco. The keyword detector is not case sensitive, so it doesn't matter if your keyword is in uppercase or lowercase letter, and it also doesn't matter if you have any words before or after your keywords. As long as the description field includes a keyword, the spreadsheet will be able to identify the transaction types and fill out the category and subcategory for you. The best way to utilize this feature is to download your transaction history from your bank account, analyze the merchant's details to find out what are your most frequent transactions, then set up your keywords accordingly, and finally copy-paste the date, the amount, and the merchant's details to the spreadsheet. In this example, I see a lot of Target, Starbucks, Walmart, so it's probably a good idea to set up a keyword for those stores. Let's go back to the keyword editor and start setting up our keywords. Once it's done, you can copy-paste your transaction history to the spreadsheet. But before you copy-paste anything, it is really important to verify if the dates within your transaction history are in date format and the amounts in number format. Unfortunately, some banks may convert these details into text format in their transaction history, but if your dates and amounts are in text format and you copy-paste them that way to the spreadsheet, the formulas in this template will not work. So how to verify if they are in the correct format or not? For the amount, it's very simple. Simply select a few amounts within your transaction history, and if Excel has no problem calculating the sum of these amounts in the bottom of the page, they are in the correct format. And as for the dates, I suggest that you convert the dates in your transaction history into a different date format. So select the dates, under Home, go to Number Formats, select More Number Formats, and here you can select any date format. And if Excel can convert them, it is good and they are in the correct format, so you can copy-paste them to the spreadsheet. So first, select all the dates. Press Ctrl Copy or Command Copy if you're a MacBook user. Then go back to the budget tracker. Under Date, right-click in the first cell, select Paste Special, and select Values Only. Do the same thing with the amount and description. As soon as you paste the description, the categories will auto-populate. I have set up Costco as a keyword, so for every transaction where the description field includes the word Costco, the spreadsheet has automatically filled out the category and subcategory. But there are still a few transactions where the category and subcategory haven't been auto-populated because the description field doesn't include any keyword. For those lines, you can simply assign the category and subcategory manually. A couple of important things to mention here. First, you can add more keywords anytime. Just click on any of the key icons here next to the description field, and you will be directed to your last keyword. Next, let's talk about how you can log transfers between your accounts. So for example, if you have transferred $500 from your main bank account to your second bank account, in that case, select your first bank account from the first drop-down menu. As category, select Transfer To, and as subcategory, select your second bank account you transfer the money to. If you want to copy-paste the transaction history from both of these bank accounts to the spreadsheet, of course, both transaction histories will include this particular transaction. But you only need to log it in the spreadsheet once, so in this case, what you can do is either manually delete one of them from one of the transaction history before pasting it to the spreadsheet, or you can actually copy-paste both of them to the spreadsheet, but in that case, set the amount for one of the duplicated transactions to 0, so the spreadsheet doesn't calculate it twice. Another important point I wanted to talk about is that if your transaction history shows all your expenses as a negative value, like that, don't worry because the spreadsheet will calculate with the absolute value of these amounts, so you can copy-paste these amounts to the spreadsheet without any problem. One exception from this rule is the savings, and that's because I wanted to offer a possibility to adjust the amount of savings you have. So let's see how to handle savings in this spreadsheet. Let's say that you transferred $200 to your saving account and you want the spreadsheet to add that amount to your emergency savings. First, you need to log it as a transfer between accounts. So again, as we did before, select your bank account you transferred the money from the first drop-down menu. Then select Transfer To. And the subcategory, select the saving account. If you leave it like that, the spreadsheet will handle it as a simple transfer between accounts and not as a saving. To log it as a saving as well, we are going to duplicate this transaction. But this time, under the category, we are going to select Savings, and a subcategory, specify what kind of saving it was. And with that, this transaction will appear as saving in your dashboards. But let's say that the next month you had to withdraw $100 from your saving account for emergency. So in this case, we are going to log these transactions twice again. First, as a transfer between accounts, so enter $100. Select Saving Account from the first drop-down menu. Then select Transfer To. And select your main bank account. But to adjust the amount of savings you have, duplicate this transaction, but instead of plus 100, enter minus 100 this time. Under Category, select Savings, and then select the subcategory as well. And as you can see, the amount has been deducted from your dashboards. In the meantime, I have imported the transaction history for the entire year, and this is how it looks now. On the left of the transaction table, you will find some small arrows. If you click on them, you will jump to the top of the page. And if you click on this Jump to Last Row button, you will be directed to your last transaction. So this is just for easier navigation in this tab. But now let's have a look at our dashboards. The first fully automated tab is the Annual Dashboard tab. In this tab, you don't have to fill out anything. Everything is automatically calculated based on the information that you have entered in the Transaction tab. On the top of this page, you will find a summary of your annual income, expenses, bills, savings, and debt payments. Under the summary, you can see the monthly overview of your finances, and you can check how your budgeted amounts compared to your actual income and expenses each month. Under this section, you will find a cash flow summary table and chart, as well as some pie charts of your yearly income sources, expenses, and the actual allocation of your different spendings. If you scroll further down, you will find your top 20 spendings of the year by subcategory and by keyword. So this chart right here will tell you whether you have spent the most money on groceries, clothes, social life, etc. But this next chart will tell you in which stores and restaurants you have spent exactly the most money and how much by searching for your keywords. So as you can see in this example, we have spent the most money in Walmart. This is why I recommend that you use the keyword detector feature even if you don't want to import your transaction history, because this chart right here can give you a much deeper insight into your finances than the subcategory chart. Next, you can see a chart of your yearly net worth growth based on the Net Worth Tracker tab. And finally, on the bottom of this page, you will see a detailed breakdown table where you can check the monthly cash flows of all your subcategories, as well as a quarterly and yearly summary of them. For an easier navigation in this spreadsheet, I have added some quick links in the middle of the page. So next, let's go to the Monthly Dashboard tab. The Monthly Dashboard tab is also fully automated. You don't have to fill out anything. On the top of this page, you can select from the drop-down menu which month you want to see, and the charts will automatically adjust. Similarly to the Annual Dashboard tab, you will see a summary of your income, expenses, bills, savings, and debt payments, but this time only for the months that you have selected from the drop-down menu. So here we can see the breakdown of our income sources, expenses, actual allocation, and debt payments for the month of August. Under these pie charts, you can check your monthly cash flow summary and comparison between your budgeted and actual amounts. This tab will also tell you how much money you have remaining for the month. So this first amount is your actual monthly expenses deducted from your actual income. And the second amount is your budgeted expenses deducted from your actual income. However, if you want to, you can add any leftover money from previous months to your current monthly leftovers. If you click on the Add Leftover Money from Previous Month option, the spreadsheet will add all the money that haven't been spent, invested, or transferred to your saving accounts the previous month, in this case, July. But if you click on the Add Leftover Money from all the previous months option, the spreadsheet will add all the leftover money from all the previous months to your current monthly leftover, so in this case, from January until August. In this next section, you will find a detailed breakdown table of your finances for all your subcategories, and you can verify how your actual amounts compared to your budgeted amounts. And finally, you will find this top 10 spending table where you can check in which stores and on which subcategory types you have spent the most amount of money for the month. And now, let's go to our next tab, the Bill Calendar tab. The Bill Calendar tab is fully automated as well. You can select from the drop-down menu which month you want to see, and you can also select whether you want to see the calendar with a Monday or Sunday start. The spreadsheet will list all your bills, subscriptions, and debts with their due dates based on the information that you have entered in the Setup tab. And not only that, but the spreadsheet will check if you have paid your bills or not. And if it detects a payment in the Transaction tab, it automatically checks itself, and those bills will turn green in the calendar with a check mark. So all these check marks here have been automatically added by the spreadsheet because it detected a payment in the Transaction tab. Next, let's have a look at the Account Tracker tab. On the top of this tab, you will see your total current balance and the distribution of your accounts. On the right side of this tab, you will see the monthly closing balance on each of your accounts, as well as a visual representation of how your balance is changed on each account through the year. All the colored cells are automatically calculated by the spreadsheet, so everything except for the starting balance that we have entered at the beginning will be automatically calculated. This tab has some quick links as well to some other tabs, so next let's check out the debts payment tracker. In the debts payment tracker, you should update the information in the white columns. So first, enter the starting balance on each tab. The starting balance is the amount left to pay the moment you started logging your transactions in this spreadsheet. Then enter the minimum payment and the annual interest rate for each debt. After that, enter the amount you would like to commit towards your monthly debt payments. The monthly payment you enter here should be at least the sum of your minimum payments, but preferably a higher amount. After that, you can choose between the debt avalanche and the debt snowball method. If you choose the debt snowball method, the spreadsheet will prioritize the payment of your debts with the lowest amounts first and rearrange them according to this method. But if you choose the debt avalanche method, the spreadsheet will rearrange your debts by prioritizing your debts with the highest interest first. If you're not sure which one to choose, try both of them because the spreadsheet will calculate the most optimal payoff method for you and will give you the estimate date here when you can get out of debt. So as you can see, in this example, we can get out of debt with the avalanche method a little bit sooner. But it depends on your interest rates and the amounts, so in your case, it might be different. On the top of the page, you can see how many months is it going to take before you pay off each debt. Next to it, you can see your debt distribution, and you can also check how much money you have paid in total for your debts versus how much money is still left to pay. So in this example, we have paid 16% of our total debt, but we have still more than $15,000 left to pay. On the right side of this tab, you will see all your debts listed according to the payoff method that you have chosen, and you can see the current balances on each debt, the percentage of debts paid, the monthly payment schedule, and your monthly balances. The spreadsheet will automatically checkmark your debts in the first 12 months if a payment is detected in the Transaction tab. On top of each debt table, you will see this Back to Summary button. If you click on it, you will be directed to the Summary table. And in the Summary table, you will see these small arrows. If you click on one of them, for example, if I click on Personal Loan, I will be directed to the Personal Loan table. In the summary table, you can also verify if you have paid your debt or not. Just select the month you want to verify from the drop-down menu here. And the spreadsheet will show you the amount of money you have paid for each debt for the selected month. You also have the possibility to adjust your payments in this Adjust column. If you have some extra cash you want to dedicate towards your debts in a specific month, just enter the amount here and the spreadsheet will add that amount to your monthly payment schedule. And you could also decrease the amount of monthly payment by entering a negative value here. And now let's have a look at the Net First Tracker tab. In this tab, you will find 5 tables, 3 colored tables and 2 white tables. The colored tables are automatically calculated by the spreadsheet, so do not modify these cells. The first asset table is the balance you have on your bank accounts, so the spreadsheet will pull the data from the Account Tracker tab. But in the second asset table, you can manually add any extra assets you have, for example, the value of your properties, any investments, or any cash you have on hand. And as for your liabilities, the spreadsheet pulls the data from the Debt Payment tab, so you don't have to modify anything here. But under this table, there is a second liability table. If you have any other liabilities, you can add them here manually. And finally, our last tab is the Saving Tracker. In this tab, only edit the white cells. All the colored cells will be automatically calculated. So first, enter the starting amount, then adjust your goal amounts, and the spreadsheet will automatically calculate your progress and track your monthly contribution based on the amounts that you have entered in the Transaction tab. On the top of this page, you can see your overall progress, how much is left to save, and how many of your goals you have achieved. So that concludes the tutorial. Thank you for watching it, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me.